Genji 2 is an action game which is based on Japanese history. Being based on history, the stages of the game will also be based on famous battles which actually took place in ancient Japan. So here's this giant enemy crab.
Oh, have you guys ever heard of the Final Fantasy house?
Yeah, I have. Isn't that from a long time ago?
That's like old internet.
Yeah.
Old like AOL Messenger, Skype internet.
Yep, I do remember that. I don't exactly remember the details, but I remember that being a thing.
Where some guy goes to live with these people, and they are quote unquote soul bonded to characters from Final Fantasy VII, and so they're like, in an alternate reality, Gojo exists, and I have the soul of that character. And it turns out they're just terrible people that abuse everyone around them. They don't shower. There's like another one that's very similar with a girl who believes she's a character from Suikoden, and somehow they're interconnected. Like these people know each other, even though they're two separate stories from two different times.
You guys want to start a Final Fantasy house? That sounds like fun.
No, dude. Like they never showered. They would just keep putting on more essential oils.
Well, they have to. They're called essential oils. That means that they're essential.
I need this. I can't wrap my head around people that don't shower often. I don't get it. Like, dude, I need somebody to explain it to me, and not like I'm pheromone maxing. Like, why don't you shower daily?
Some people have an issue with it with their I actually do too. It dries their skin out a lot, and I have to hydrate my skin a lot because I shower quite often.
I do too. I got alligator skin, dog. It's terrible.
Yeah,
I need the lotion.
exactly. That's probably why I use like a coconut oil, and I use olive oil and coconut oil in my hair too.
Oh, I don't use nothing. My legs look like iguana assholes.
Oh,
dude.
yeah,
They're
you
fucking
should.
Terrible.
And you shower more than I do, so you should probably think about doing that.
Yeah, and I'm out in the sun all day. Sometimes I'm like, my skin is getting stronger as it fades.
Yeah, you gotta hydrate super often.
It's like you ever see pictures of like the salt flats in Utah?
Yeah.
Where it's just cracks and dust and dirt everywhere. It's like that. It's very much so like that.
Oh, and hot showers too will also dry you out really bad.
Well, I'm not taking a cold shower. That's weird.
I used to do that. I used to take cold showers in the morning and hot showers at night, but then I got too annoying.
Yeah, that sounds like I think I did the same thing, and I was like, I'm not doing this shit every day. Like, this is stupid.
I did it for like 2 months. The crazy thing when you do that too, especially your face, like it loses all the swelling and everything. So it really defines your face a lot, and it's weird. it's very strange. I like looked different. I was like, this is kind of weird.
Well, I think also something about like alternating hot and cold, like does something with your pores, opens and like you can wash out more. I don't know. This is not skincare.
It's not. Don't listen to us. We don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we talk about video games on the Giant Enemy Crab podcast. I'm your host, Fliz. We're here again with my wonderful friends, KylarEmiya.
Hello.
And Strider.
Hello.
How you gentlemen doing today?
Good. I'm doing good.
It was a tiring day.
A tiring day?
Yep. Tiring day at work.
No. It was like 90 degrees here. I hated it.
I tried today what was it called? Like a spinach mango like caffeine shot or something. It was something weird that one of my coworkers drinks every now and then. And I tried one, and it tastes like medicine. I was like, it doesn't taste bad, but it tastes like medicine. And she's like, yeah, it's because it's got vitamins in it. It basically is medicine.
Oh, well, that's why it's got shit in it. That's why it tastes bad. I don't know if I ever want to drink anything that has spinach as an ingredient. That doesn't sound very appealing.
Yeah, it was made with like natural caffeine or something. I don't even know if it works because I drink so much caffeine that it's just poured onto the pile. Doesn't matter.
Get this weak out of here. I'm a professional. Oh, tell me real quick before we keep going. You had a little challenge in mind that you were kind of working on. I figure I should let y'all know what's going on with that.
Oh yeah. So we've been talking about Pirate Software and his game Heartbound, which we'll talk about more later on.
Oh yeah, we
Um,
will.
but it's been stuck in like basically development hell for like 7, 8 years now. And it got me thinking, like, could we make a game before Pirate Software releases Heartbound? And last week I started to do that. So I'm going to see if I can make a game before he releases Heartbound, just as a personal challenge to see if we can do it. It's going to be fun. And also it's just interesting and gives some insight on like some of the challenges that come from game developers and indie developers too. And also just learning how, game dev kind of functions and works as a whole. So yeah, and
I like that you keep saying we, even though it's been placed squarely on you.
you guys
Like,
are
you're
my encouragement. You're my little cheerleaders.
Well, you gotta remember, Heartbound was made by one guy, so you gotta be the one guy to
That's
challenge
not even
it.
true.
Shh. It's true. I saw the YouTube shorts, maybe. Okay, so yeah, keep an eye out for that. We're gonna get on some updates, and I've seen a little bit so far, and I'm kind of impressed within the week that's already happened. I don't know the first thing about coding, so and you. Oh, too bad. I am. If I don't know anything about it, then I'm going to be easily impressed, right? Magic is just science that can't be explained.
The amount of problems I've already run into, like the crazy thing, it's not even about that like programming is hard. It's like I don't even know how to try to do the things I'm trying to do. Like I just no idea. So I don't know. It'll be fun. I'm gonna try it for a while. I'm hoping to release something on Steam as after we get to a certain point.
Cool.
Yeah, and just just for fun, get it on there. But that'll be probably in like a few months, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll link you to the Kickstarter page when it goes up. Don't worry about it. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll keep you updated. We'll make another little subsection of the podcast for that. It'll be fun. I'm totally curious to see how things go. In other news, our friend Strider here has some updates on our last episode. What you got, bud?
So first and foremost, Steam users apparently are contacting Visa over and over about the removal of adult games.
Good. Yeah, I saw a whole bunch of Reddit threads of, hey, everybody, this sucks. And apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, but they were like blasting spam calls to Visa and Mastercard and tons of emails letting them know that don't mess with our games.
And they did do that. And then a few days ago as well, itch.io has re-indexed any adult content that was free. From what I understand and that they're going to very slowly going to be trying to re-index everything that was taken off. And they're also stated that they were seeking out new payment processors who are more comfortable with adult material.
Good for them. Bravo, Itch. I like to see that they support their customer base more so than giant bank companies. That's at least a little good news, right?
Yeah. I saw there was didn't Mastercard officially release a statement too? I think it was Mastercard.
They had a short little blurb. Basically, I'll just read their statement verbatim because it's very short. Mastercard has not evaluated any game or required restrictions of any activity on game creators' sites and platforms, contrary to media reports and allegations. Our payment network stands is based on the rule of the law. Put simply, we allow all lawful purchases on our network. At the same time, we require merchants to have appropriate controls to ensure MasterCards cannot be used for unlawful purchases, including illegal adult content. Problem. None of this was illegal.
That's what I thought.
I was gonna say, like, there's no way Steam's gonna be doing
The entire
illegal
statement
stuff.
is fucking dog. It's all like.
Well, it
Tell 'em
sounds
how you
like
really feel.
they were persuaded into believing that this was an illegal practice that they had to stop supporting through transactions. Maybe, but No, I want to try to give them the benefit of the doubt, but it's also Mastercard, so I don't really care.
Mastercard and Visa, don't give them. They already have everything. They got
Yeah.
bailed. No, it's politics. Never mind. I'll stay out of it.
Well, it's also just like such a big company that it was probably just some guy was like, yeah, no.
There's nothing else. What's the word? Not a monopoly, a duopoly, right?
Yeah.
But they're just a duopoly for basically almost anything, because 90+% of all payment processes go through those two.
Yeah, it's Mastercard. It's where you want to be.
And it's like, and people are like, why doesn't Steam can stand up to them? Like, no, they can't. They're in completely different ballparks.
Yeah, no. It's not happening.
There is basically almost no company on their own can stand up to these two. And I know part of it is because I think Visa got slammed for being held accountable for illegal adult content that was held on an adult website a few years ago, which I don't know if necessarily they're the ones who should have been punished for that instead of just being the actual company that had it. But because of them getting caught in a lawsuit and punished for it, now they don't take any chances, and then a collective shout going, okay, there might be illegal content here. They're not going to double check. They're just going to be better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of all the businesses to have business responses, I would expect these companies to be like, everything they say is just to cover their ass. So it's everything they do in that respect is going to be the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And also, in addition to them releasing a statement, there was a Japanese free speech organization that had a statement on it stating that Steam and HIO mustn't succumb to unjust pressure with no legal basis was their quote. And in addition to them, GOG just launched a new website titled Freedom to Buy, where it's up for a few days to raise awareness on censorship in gaming, but they are handing out some free adult games.
Free porn.
including Postal 2, because Postal 2 would not be allowed.
Oh man, Postal 2 is like a formative memory for me. Like killing Gary Coleman. Like that is a game that I played when I was way too young. I don't know if that's good. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to take any of these games. I don't think Fetish Locator is on my need to play list. But I can see the effort that they're doing, and that's fine.
Because, this isn't going to stop at porn.
I know. I just don't. I don't know. I'm not that hard up, like.
When they came for
What's
the
the
porn
term?
games, I stood by and didn't.
I will continue to stand by and do nothing. No, we did something. We made a whole hour on it. Go listen to it. We did what we could without actually playing porn games.
You say that like I haven't done that.
Yeah. You know what? I have to on Newgrounds they used to have, maybe probably still do. But yeah. Oh, and one time I played a Leisure Suit Larry game all the way through.
I have no idea what that is.
You don't know what Leisure Suit Larry is?
No. Oh, you probably got so frustrated.
I don't remember. I remember thinking like, what is all the fuss about? It's like you play mini games and then a little clip of a little tiny guy banging a lady pops up and then you go on to the next thing. He was in college. It was weird. I don't know. I don't know. Anything else on that?
Yeah, no, those are the quick updates I have.
All right. That's it. Yeah, these free adult games are, you can look them up. Freedom to Buy, I guess. Is there a timer on these? Yeah, 2 days. Oh, good luck. You'll have like 25 minutes by the time you hear about it from us. All right, I guess we'll move on from that. So I got the opportunity, not the opportunity. I decided after all this talk of PirateSoftware that I should we even had that short that was kind of big on the lighting system for Heartbound. And I said, hey, I should really test this game out and see if it's what's all the fuss about? Like, And what's weird to me is that there was all this fuss and muss about Pirate Software, and people don't really talk about Heartbound that much. They talk about the coding to the game. They talk about him not finishing it, but like the game itself, nobody really talks about. So I was like, what's going on there? I played the demo all the way through. I paid the $10 for it. Look, I gotta preface this by saying this is absolutely not my kind of game. I've played visual novels that I've liked. I've played puzzle games that I liked. But like the kind of cutesy stuff, I'm not terribly interested in. I recorded the whole playthrough and I'm not going to post it because I was so mean. I felt bad when I was done about how mean I was to this game because this is the subjective. This is terrible. Heartbound is terrible. I hated every second of playing this. We were streaming it in the Discord and Strider even popped in for like 30 minutes and he's like, nah,
no more.
I'm not having this. Kylar here stayed for the whole thing. Real quick, what's the story, Kylar? What didn't I understand about this game?
So there's this pocket watch, right? And you got to fix the pocket watch. You got to talk to the deer man to fix the pocket watch.
Yeah, I guess at one point, like, okay, look, you see, so it looks like an Undertale clone, although after playing it, my best relation would be to Omori story and like gameplay wise, minus the gameplay. I don't even know how to say it, man. This is like
story and everything else.
Story, like for a game that's been worked on for 7, almost 8 years now, there's like nothing there. It tricks you in the beginning by showing you little puzzles, and then there's no more puzzles. It shows you that there's like a combat system to some degree, and then there's no more combat. The story it's like insufferable. I have a theory that Pirate Software doesn't want to finish it because he's actively like grown out of what he wrote before. Because there's parts of it where I'm looking at it and I'm playing it. I'm like, this is like how I thought when I was an angsty teenager at times. You know, it's like Angsty Teenager, the video game. There's a section where you go get your first job and the whole thing is like this weird, not even weird, this like really base, working a 9 to 5 is awful. How do people do this? Like, we shouldn't have to work jobs kind of thing. You know, it's monotonous, not slave labor, but you know, just that whole why should we have to work kind of thing. And then knowing like the background of Pirate Software, like worked at Blizzard for a little bit and then self-admittedly said he was terrible at his job and then quit for 5 years to go do like furry avatars for Second Life or something. It was just insufferable and corny.
It has problems because when you start the game, it can start off as sort of interesting because they introduce sort of a mystery where you have this dog
kind of,
and he like disappears and like everyone's gone, like something has broken into your house and presumably dragged him away, and you have to go into the woods and search for him. You find this like creature that you battle with. Like, it's when you actually play the game, it's not super compelling, but it's not terrible.
It's something.
Yeah. So
it gives you the hint that there's going to be more.
Exactly.
And there's just not. There's nothing else going on there.
No. And to be honest, it's hard to tell why. Like, the reason I joke about the pocket watch is I don't know why you do anything you do in the game beyond the first part.
That's why I asked you what the story was, because I don't know.
Yeah.
You wake up and then you feed your dog some garbage and then you go back to sleep, and you have to go back to sleep so much. It asks you if you want to go back to your room and sleep like every 5 minutes. And it's not all terrible. Like, actually, the art and some of the drawings are pretty good. I don't care for the furry stuff, but I can tell that it's well done.
Yeah, the music is also pretty good.
The music is not bad at all. There's just so much nothing happening. You know, you do the first part, and like the first part that you spoke of, like kill it, the dog and the boss battle and stuff. That's all in the trailer. And there's nothing really beyond that, because the next part we did is you go to like the land of the furries. I have no better way to put it.
Yeah, Animus.
And then you help these two like animals date, kind of. And like the main character doesn't even want to be there the whole time. I don't want to be there. He doesn't want to be there. It tricks you into thinking there's going to be some gameplay, and then nothing happens. And it's very much so like, it feels like somebody's homebrew furry content, which I guess that's what it is. But I don't even really know what else it had to do with the quote unquote story of the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, no matter what, like none of it actually connects to anything from what it feels like. The only thing is the very first area that you can go to when in development, which is the office area, reveals more about the tragic or rather traumatizing backstory for Lore. And yeah, what happened was he was sitting on the couch with his dog, and he overheard his parents arguing that they should have him go outside and do stuff. And the dad's like, no, just let him be a kid. And then the mom is like, you're a weakling just like him, and you'll always be weak. And that's it.
That's the trauma. I was fuming in the Discord. I was so mad at this baby ass, like, and like I said, I knew this game wasn't going to be for me. I just didn't know how not for me it was going to be.
And the other thing too, you play like a whole hour and a half section for that. Like, that is what you learn. Yeah, the entire world just reveals that. That is a finished area. That is what you learn. Dramatic stairs.
You know, that's why I kind of put it next to Omori, because Omori has a similar, I don't know, story beat to it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but like it actually matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. The structure, like the mystery of finding out what's going on between the real world and where this trauma lies and this fake dream world that you're in. Like it felt very similar to that. But Omori was fun and the story mattered. This was like First World Problems, the video game. I couldn't handle it, man. I went into this hoping for like some sort of redemption, right, from the developer. Like this, there's got to be something here that's worth my time, you know, if this is what all the fuss is about. And there's just not. And I know it's a not complete game, but I don't want to play the complete version in any fashion. Like every item you click on has some quirky whole ass text box pop up. And there's one room you go into and there's like 100 items in there. And everything you click on is a little joke. And I think there's a lot of in jokes that you would get if you watch the streams that he does. Everything just fell so flat. I think we laughed once from one of the drawings of the faces, but that was the art, you know, the art pulling all the, you know, doing all the work. So.
And the other thing too is like just some of the characters aren't really utilized really well. Like Binder, who is probably the most interesting character in the entire game, who's like this wizard that oversees you. Like he's basically like, he knows everything that's going on, is trying to help you and leads you to this artifact to enable you to go on this adventure. But you never see him again. He's just gone.
It's like the cow. I don't never played Undertale, but it's like the cow in Undertale. Yeah.
Yeah, but even she comes back after a while. Well,
that's what I'm saying. But it was
choices.
Supposed to be that kind of character, or at least that's how it felt it was going to go. And you know, all these characters are so one note that I don't think, like, the only character we really liked was Terry the cactus.
Dude, Terry, that is my boy. I love Terry. Oh
You
my
were
god!
falling
Every
in love with
time,
Terry.
every time you went up to him, I was like, "It's Terry. Let's go."
um, but aside from like none of the other characters were much of anything, and like I said, if this were like something that somebody had worked on for uh, a little bit and put out, like all the promises and the ego behind this are what really make it a tough sell.
Yeah.
I think what I think I said the word. I haven't played anything I dislike this much since I Love You, Colonel Sanders, and I hated I Love You, Colonel Sanders.
I think the major thing with this, right, and what makes us even more critical about this game is if this was just like a dev trying to make a game and it just ended up being abandonware because the dev either just like they couldn't finish it or just whatever, that's fine. But it is so frustrating to be someone that like supported the Kickstarter for this game, and you watch your streamer, the developer, make millions of dollars live on stream every day playing Minecraft instead of finishing the game that you supported for $1,000 8 years ago.
I mean, I don't know if millions, but I definitely know that like he makes enough to pay people to finish this game if he so chose to do that.
It's an exaggeration, but yeah, you're right.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's I couldn't imagine being one of those people. And then you go check like what are the updates that have happened? And it like added more dialogue. This game doesn't need any more dialogue. That's all it is people talking about nothing the whole time. It could very well just be like it could fly as a visual novel. Like it should be a visual novel, a very short visual novel, because there's no reason for this to be a game in this. Like there's no gameplay. Like it would show you like it would present puzzles, and there were only puzzles in one section, and they I wouldn't even consider them really puzzles. Like you push a block and hit a switch and that's it.
I think my favorite part too was there's sometimes like you'd walk in and out of a house, and depending on because of the story progression, trees would just spawn to stop you from going places you shouldn't. Like it is so railroady and where you can and can't go, and it's so blatant about it, which I just thought was hilarious.
Yeah, and I've played walking simulators before, but the whole thing about a walking simulator is that it has to have like a decent story, or usually horror elements that I've played. But like there has to be some reason to keep walking, and there's just not here. Like there's one section you go into like it was very reminiscent of like a Pokemon cave, except there's no battles and nothing happens. And then you go listen to some like faces in the dark talk, and then you leave, and it's just like so anticlimactic through and through.
There was one section in there because there's a big like rock that's like carved into the shape of a whale that is in the opposite direction that you are supposed to go. And I was like, what's over on the other side, Fliz? And you went all the way over, and it was like this big, huge walking journey just to get to the other side of the rock, and there's nothing there.
There's nothing.
And you had to walk all the way back.
Maybe that's the trick all along. Maybe that's the life lesson. Do everything you want. There's nothing at the end. That's the secret meta joke.
No. Oh.
Yeah, I cannot in any world recommend this game. And like I said, I really wanted it. I wanted it to have some like redemptive qualities, because I just see people piling on PirateSoftware, and I've made my views on him very clear. Like it's fine. I like it's all just drama. He's not like a terrible human. It's just the flavor of the week on the internet. And he's done so. We went over some good stuff he's done too. Like it's not all bad. And I just really wanted the game to be like a game, and it's not.
Yeah.
So don't even play the demo. Like the lighting system works. My PC didn't crash. So that's something.
You got a $5,000 PC, my guy. I don't think you're exactly the target audience when it comes to testing the limits of the game.
I know. Now I want to see somebody with like a mediocre PC and see how it works for them. So mine could just handle all the lighting. That's all.
I think the lighting is fine, but just because the game is just so small, like it doesn't matter. There's nothing else to do. Like the lighting thing being 99% of the game is fine because there's literally nothing else happening.
Like, really?
Yeah.
What is that other 1%? Pressing WASD sometimes.
Clicking on the next
Listening to somebody
dialogue.
talk at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Disappointed armadillo noises in wavy text.
And
that's a line from the game.
Yep. I'm good, man. That was really just unpleasant. I'm just kind of shocked because I didn't expect myself to be as angry as I was at the end of it. I thought I would just be like, all right, I guess it's not for me. It's not very good, and it just like, it was knowing the backstory of everything. I was just frustrated. So yeah, hard pass. Hard pass. That's really what I wanted to talk about. Apparently you had some DaggerHeart news.
Oh, yes, I did, because Gen Con happened, which is a convention for like various tabletops and such. And DaggerHeart was on there, and they had a ton of announcements going on. So I kind of want to talk about those real quick while we have the time.
Hit me up.
So first, they released partnerships with other virtual tabletops because the issue with them was like they only support Roll20. That's expanding now. They added a couple more on there. And they also partnered with a couple of dice companies to make official dice sets for DaggerHeart. And they actually look cool. Yeah, they actually look really cool. So that is super exciting. They also partnered with Hero Forge, which if you don't know what Hero Forge is, it is a website where you can, it's like a web-based builder where you can create a miniature. And then you can either like download like an STL file or a virtual file, or you can pay to have them ship it directly to you. So super cool. They're having some of the races that are unique in DaggerHeart on Hero Forge. I don't think that's out yet, but that's going to be a thing. On top of that, they also announced a couple actual plays. This was interesting because we talked about this before, where you are not actually allowed to stream actual play of the campaign frames from the book, which is really weird. Yeah. But a couple of them are doing it because they got permission to. So that's going to be happening with Dungeons and Daddies and Legends of Evantris, who are one of my favorite D&D groups. I love Legends of Evantris. So they're going to be doing that DaggerHeart campaign. On top of that, Age of Umbra, which is Matt Mercer's like little campaign miniseries he did for DaggerHeart, is getting a follow-up or sequel because the first one was so successful. They're doing another one. So that's going to be really cool. And Matt Mercer is releasing all of the adversaries he personally created for Age of Umbra to download for free. So you can use all the adversaries he made for your own campaigns, which I'm running Age of Umbra, so I'm probably gonna steal some of those.
Sorry, I'm having like mad deja vu.
You're good.
I'm losing my mind.
There's also a new campaign frame called With Love and Magic. This one was kind of weird because it's a romantasy campaign frame, which
no thanks.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah, I can see why people would do it, but that's not for me.
I can't stop listening to the D&D horror stories. It's been my private addiction. Oh my God, I don't understand ERP. I'm just too vanilla, I guess.
What kind have you been listening to? I'm curious. Like, what happens in them?
A lot of them. The one I just listened to today, a lady was invited to a group, and she was long distance dating one of the other players, and the DM created a villain that was evil, but he was very handsome. And the lady fell in love with the NPC, and then she blackmailed the DM to host a private session so she could ERP with the evil villain. And she said if he didn't do it, she would tell her long distance boyfriend and he might do something because he's depressed. So it was like, yeah, it was serious blackmail over like, I want to bang this fictional character. And then she's like, he fell for it, not fell for it, but like he did what he thought was the right thing and like started to do it. And then she started getting like really explicit now. And he said, no,
No,
I'm done.
It's not worth it.
Yeah,
That's
that was
crazy.
that was the worst one I heard today. The other ones are usually just people taking over games in various ways that are unfun for everyone else.
Oh God. Yeah, so with Love and Magic, new romantasy campaign. I don't know. I was like, that's not what I want. That's like not a genre I want in my tabletop RPG with a bunch of friends. No, thank you.
You just got to get different friends.
I
Friends that
guess
want to
so.
bang
I guess
vocally,
so.
but not really, just with their characters.
They also are releasing a homebrew kit, which is available online now. This was kind of cool because what the homebrew kit is pretty much a breakdown of the aspects of the design of the game to help you make your own stuff. So it basically goes over like these classes have this much health and this much health. This is why we did it. If you want to make characters similar to this, here's what you do. And it's like that for tons of aspects of the game. So this really helps in making very balanced homebrew stuff because you're following the kind of the ethos of how the game was actually created in the first place. So the homebrew kit's super cool to have.
I'm sure D&D has stuff like that, right?
Yeah, they have like recommended health and damage as well. They have like graphs that you can follow, at least for 2014. I don't know about 2024, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure it does. But to have a small kind of blurb to like talking about like every kind of aspect of it is very, very nice to have too, rather than just like a graph where like I don't understand why it's like this, but I should just follow this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
Stop saying it's cool.
On top of that,
that's awesome.
Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford did show up as well, and they're officially working on campaign frames. And they announced that they are working on an official DaggerHeart campaign. So this is not like a frame. This is an actual adventure campaign setting that you can play through with your friends, fully fleshed out and complete. And they compared it to Curse of Strahd as well, which is a very popular campaign. So that is like super hype. And on top of that, which I wasn't expecting, Keith Baker and Jen Ellis are going to be making a source book for DaggerHeart as well. And if you don't know, Keith Baker, one of my favorite DMs and just world builders in general, is the creator of Eberron, which is a much beloved setting that introduced like the Warforged. And yeah, it's actually super hyped to have Keith Baker on the DaggerHeart team too. It's kind of wild having like all these people show up at Gen Con for DaggerHeart, considering kind of where this game came from, where it's just like it should be so niche, but they're having such huge names up there at the same time.
Yeah, I'm just like, what exactly? Why do you think this game has blown up so much more? Because I've heard of, Shadow Dark and a couple other similar D&D likes, I guess. I don't know, tabletop RPGs, but they're never as popular as this. What is it? What's doing it?
I think one part of the reason is like kind of fatigue of D&D, not so much the game itself, but just kind of the rules and how heavy they are, because DaggerHeart is a lighter rule system. It doesn't require as much to know to play the game, and it's much more open with what you can do. And even other tabletop games that have been popular have kind of been this too. That's why Shadow Dark is so popular, because it's a very dark, gritty, but rules light system. Where in D&D, you got like so much stuff going on all the time. And Dungeons & Dragons kind of like showed this as well because they also had a showing where at Gen Con, and they talked about the Greyhawk setting that they're going to be doing. And literally one of the quotes from there, I'm not going to directly quote because I'm going off memory, was like, less rules, more fun, was one of the things that they talked about for Greyhawk, which just kind of shows you that the game might be so rule heavy now that it's kind of starting to get into the way of the fun for most audiences, kind of like most players. And maybe these games that have lighter rules and just kind of easier to just, relax and play are being more popular. And of course, just having Critical Role in general is going to make this more popular.
Yeah, I have to agree there, because there was when we played our short little campaign that I was in.
Yeah.
There was a lot of times where I just like, most of my gameplay was, can I do this? And not like in a fun way, like, is this allowed? No, because this item's like this and your character's like that, and it's not the right type of turn. And I was like,
yeah. Bonus actions, reactions, actions.
That was a real put up. Like I actively didn't really like I wanted to stay away from combat if I could, just because it wasn't as fun to me as the other stuff.
Yeah,
because there was too many rule, like not like there's too many, but just there was too much going on to really get fun out of it for me.
It's hard to wrap your brain around until you like get the hang of it, and even then, like, it takes a while sometimes to understand like why and when you can spend certain resources. But the last thing that they announced, and this was also kind of interesting, was there's a new Kickstarter for DaggerHeart now, where they are going to be releasing like class packs. So rather than buying the full game, if you just want to be able to make a wizard, you can just order that, and they will send you just like a box with like the decks for all the cards. They'll have character sheets, like all that fun stuff that they are releasing instead. And there's a little bit of backlash for that, because they've already said, and this is kind of apparent, like DaggerHeart sold out like a couple times now. They literally can't sell anymore because it just keeps going. But somehow they don't have the money to just release this. Why is it on a Kickstarter, right?
Well, you gotta pay Critical Role. Gotta pay them the big bucks.
Yeah. Which makes sense, but there's reasons for it. Like, one is the tariffs. The tariffs are so brutal. And this doesn't even affect just DaggerHeart. This was like multiple games. I believe it was Obsidian that is was Obsidian? No, it wasn't. There was a tabletop company that is like suing the president because of all the issues that it's causing. And on top of this, just it makes it so difficult for them to kind of gauge the interest of these packs, because they've never had something so successful as this. Because they've released tabletop games before and other card games and everything. This is never been anything near the like successfulness of DaggerHeart. That's one of those things, right?
Yeah.
The other is Diamond Comic Distributors recently filed for bankruptcy. If you don't know what Diamond is, they are they're a distributor that basically different tabletop companies and comic book companies will sell, like give them their goods for them to distribute out to the market, to different stores. And that's kind of how they work. Like they distribute, right?
Yeah.
They declared bankruptcy, and the way they filed it was they wanted to try to mitigate some of their debts by looking at their own warehouses and going to a court system and saying, hey, I got all these stuff in my warehouse. If you give me a court order saying that I own this and I can sell it for 100% profit, I can pay off some of my debts. And they said, sure thing.
Oh.
And the reason why this sucks is, imagine like you make a tabletop game, right? You give it to Diamond to sell for you, and they sell all of them, but they don't give you any of the money, even though you paid to have it created.
Yeah.
So they also have to avoid like situations like this where like they have to avoid distributors too, in case like something like this happens, especially because all the tariffs are affecting so many distributors all the time that who knows if they might just go kaput.
Unfortunate.
I know. Other than that, though, I think that was pretty much it for DaggerHeart. There was a lot of different announcements going on.
But you got DaggerHeart brain right now. I see it all the time. It's all you want to do.
I do. We actually went back and played Dungeons and Dragons because I started my campaign back up again.
Didn't hit right, did it?
No, it was a lot. And even our player like Al, he was just looking at his monk and he's like, I don't even know what this does anymore.
No, well, you go from like just smoothly moving through a narrative to having to stop every 5 seconds to check sheets. Of course, you're gonna like that's got to put a big hamper on, especially for GMs or DMs. Like I can't imagine wanting to tell a story and then just you got to check sheets constantly. It's got to just put a big old cramp in your style.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm still excited to play more DaggerHeart.
Cool. Well, someday I might join you. No promises.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Oh, now I'm looking at messed up Kickstarter. Okay, never mind. So we already talked about something I hated. Let's talk about something that actually got a 180. Strider actually got through. I was gonna say Life of Pi. That's not it. Lies of P. That's the Tiger movie.
I forgot about that actually.
Yeah, it's the Tiger movie where the ship crashed. Anyway, that's not it. So what are we thinking about Lies of P now?
It's definitely by far my favorite of the non-From Software or Souls-likes, and probably is better than probably some of their games. It's
really? Because you were like you did not like it.
I've bounced off of it twice before this.
Yeah, you came back to it. Yeah. And you finally got it in. You're like, oh, wow. So what's different?
Just the game opens up as you get further and further, just with the upgrade system, and as it gets further. Plus, launch balancing versus balancing now is significantly different. The game was definitely a little overtuned at the start, back when it first launched.
Sorry, I was overtuned by how?
Like just no room for punishment, and things were unbalanced, did way too much damage.
Okay.
Plus, certain like they've smoothed out certain bosses by slowing them down or making their attacks clearer.
Oh, awesome. So it's just more fun.
It's more polished is definitely the way I would say. And especially once I played the DLC, because that was the main reason I went back, is Overture released. Like I think Summer Games Fest, I want to say it was, where they just announced that the DLC was dropping later that day.
Yeah. We talked about it and we were kind of like, I don't think we care because we're not going back to it. But you actually took the time. Bravo. It's always nice to like go back to something and realize like maybe not that you were wrong, but like, yeah, some things deserve a second look.
Yeah, because I want to say I bounced off like in roughly the same spot the first 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely the game's later bosses are much more of a standout. And because another thing that I realized I ended up liking that the game does a lot is there's less trash mobs than most other Souls games. There's a lot more one and done mini boss class enemies that don't respawn. They drop like the type that will immediately reward you with something. And
cool.
And that there might be variants, but they're usually relatively unique. Like they're usually like slightly different than strong versions of enemies that are in a few places. Like it might be the weapon they wield, which will change up how they fight, or just something that happens to them. Like in the DLC, there's a few enemies that look like similar enemies, but once you drop them to a certain percentage of their health, they will transform and change, basically almost a boss change phase, and they only show up then and there, like they're one and done. So there's a lot of unique encounters. The weapon design is really nice with being able for basic weapons being able to match the moveset and the handle and blades together, which will determine which special abilities your weapon has, along with its scaling, and certain weapons are better or worse with stuff. Like you don't want to be thrusting a blunt weapon.
Yeah.
Music turned out to be very good. Especially the soundtrack overall is really standout, especially with the as you do quests, you'll get music discs, which are a bunch of unique songs that like don't play anywhere else in the game. But a lot of that music is really good because and the fandom thinks so too, because there was a poll they had where they asked like where you fell in love with Liza P, and like almost in first, it was like just behind first. The most common answer was the on average the first music disc you get the song Feel.
That's where everybody was bopping to.
It's a very heartfelt song, I guess is the way to describe it. Like
No, I get that.
There's a certain vibe it gives in the hub world, because the other thing is that you're incentivized to listen to all the music discs you find, because you get humanity points, which determine which ending you get. They're one of the key factors. And I managed to get the best ending in the game, or at least the hardest to achieve.
No, I get that, because that's honestly, there was a point in Expedition 33 where I was in the hub world and I was just letting the music play, and I was like, oh, I think I really love this game. I think it was Lumiere, and I was just standing there just listening to it, and I don't do that. Like I need to be doing something in games or I get bored, so I can tell what you're talking about.
Yeah, because Feel very much feels like a similar vibe to like Lumiere.
Yeah,
because you're also literally playing record discs on a gramophone.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but yeah, same thing.
But yeah, no. Number one problem though I have with this game is the last area is way too long.
Oh, is it?
The last area of the game will probably take the average person, because of the boss fights that are there, 4 to 6 hours.
Oh, geez.
And half of that, and that's assuming you take like roughly like 45 minutes to an hour in each boss. Like the actual area still takes like 3 to 4 hours to traverse blindly. Because I think I got there at like 12:30 my time and finished at like 5:30 in the morning.
Dang. That's probably like you probably like got there and you're like, man, I should go to bed. I guess I can finish this. It's gotta be soon, right?
Like it's absolutely the final dungeon. Like there is no doubt. And also because the story of Liza P is actually really good too.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was literally going to ask you, because I'm not going to play it, so I'm going to say spoilers for anybody. Maybe if Lionel's going to play, you can plug your ears. But what is the story of the game, and like what happens, real quick?
So, because the big thing is the puppet frenzy, right? That happens is
I don't remember. I know you're Pinocchio, maybe.
You're P. So I'm just going to like go over the story because the actual lore behind it is kind of crazy.
Okay.
So to start with, you open the game on the train, right? And all these puppets are going berserk. The puppet's like leader, you fight halfway through the game.
Okay.
He is the boss of chapter 6 or 7. And it turns out that you'll figure out later that the puppets are actually like, they went crazy because they're trying to stop the alchemist faction, which they're the reason. How far did you play in yours? Did you get up to the cathedral?
I got to a guy that might have been Geppetto, and then I turned it off. No, I was wandering. I beat the first big boss, and then I was wandering around rooftops, and I just was like over it.
So, you'll figure out that because the second group of enemies, there's basically 3 groups of enemies they can introduce. Is puppets are your enemies for the first few areas. The second set of enemies they can introduce about chapter 4 is carcasses, which is corpses that are reanimated by Ergo in some fashion, or like mutated humans, as you'll come to find out. And then the third is the people responsible for it, and the petrification disease, which is a whole disease that is spreading throughout it, which is related in ways to the puppet frenzy. But it's what the alchemists end up. You find out they're responsible for. And they're trying to do basically the current leader of the alchemists, as you'll find out, Simon, is trying to basically force humanity to evolve, and he wants to become their new god. Because as it turns out, in the background is that there was basically a god. Like something so far beyond humanity fell on a meteor basically, and came to our planet. And in sometime in the past, it was I'm not too sure about the details, but the big part is that basically it's killed, quote unquote killed. Like, we don't know if it's actually dead because we don't know if it functionally can die, but it's carved up into pieces. And one of those pieces ends up becoming one of the big plot points, is the arm of God, which is what the alchemist leader is using to basically try to transform himself into a god. But the puppets were trying to stop him. You fight the king of puppets halfway through the game. And it turns out to be basically a very important character, the Romeo, who becomes very important in the DLC as well. But he's been turned into a puppet, and basically it's just in the middle of the game, you have like an end game level difficulty boss fight. But then you spend the rest of the game basically trying to hunt down and defeat the alchemist. And then eventually you get to their hideout, which is the last area of the and fight through and eventually defeat their leader. But because he wanted to use Ergo, which is basically humanity in a crystal form, because it's like human souls, I believe, get trapped in the minerals that are mined, the Ergo. And he's trying to use it, because it's also why the some puppets are like actually just like they're basically powered by human souls. And like the puppets, alchemists, and basically everyone's research is tied together because they were all like Geppetto, the alchemist leader, and some other important characters. Like, were all either they basically all work together, even though they all did different things. But at the very end of the game, it turns out Geppetto has been using you basically as a way to revive his son, is what he wants. Because depending on your ending, you either give up your heart, because he's basically using you to power up the P organ so that he can use it to revive his son.
Lost.
What do you mean? Have you not been listening?
That's my fault for expecting a Souls like to not have like an extremely in-depth content. My bad.
All right. If you need to catch up, they got this pocket watch, right?
Shut up. Okay, so Geppetto's using it to revive his son.
Yeah, because basically the way is that he's basically reanimated the body, but it doesn't have his memories, and he's trying to restart, basically use all the Ergo that the alchemists have gathered to power up and basically revive his son with P's memories to basically make him complete. And as long as you have enough humanity, you can resist the order to give him your heart, which will start the final boss fight, where Geppetto uses his son's corpse as a puppet to fight you.
What a dad.
Oh, yeah.
If I can't revive you, nobody will.
Well, he actually ends up taking a blow for you, because between phase 1 and 2, you cut the top head of the puppet the puppet's head off, and it causes it to go berserk. So it stops. It basically just goes wild. But Geppetto can't control it. And when it's because it disarms you and almost kills you in the cutscene after the fight, but Geppetto takes the blade for you, because he's like, I won't let you kill my son, because it's the only way he can get his son back is the P organ.
Oh man, Geppetto could have gone to therapy. Would have been better.
And then the DLC time travels you back to a very important event that happens, and it's where you basically, the entire deal is like the original Outbreak type situation that happens in the Krat Zoo, and it like takes course over this day of winter. But it gives you like a bunch more detail on Romeo and another character that is important, Leia. And it ends in probably my favorite Souls fight ever. Is the final boss of the DLC, Arlieko, or whatever. I do not know how to pronounce his name. The Blood Artist. There's only 2 fights in the game that have a unique NPC with you, and this is one of them. And it felt very worth it to do, just because of the like for story reasons, but also because they added unique animations that only play in that fight. Because during the second
like
phase,
during the battle.
Yeah, during the second phase, instead of the normal riposte, you do a team attack that takes the one and only time the animation shows up.
Oh, that's cool.
Also, both the boss and Leia's voice actors absolutely kill it. Because the other thing is that the villain for this story is just evil for the sake of being evil. Like, he is in it for the love of the game.
You know, I know people get tired of. I don't mind that. I don't mind a bad guy who's just a bad guy.
He's just in it for the love of the game. He's absolutely an awful person, but the voice actor sells it so much. Also, the phase transition cutscene for him is insane.
Yep.
Like, it's so over the top. But no, because the other thing is that another nice thing the game does is there's a boss rematch once you beat the game, where there are 5 difficulties for every main boss in the game. And on the higher difficulties, they supposedly add new moves and like change up the fight. But the difficulties are also like unbound by new game cycles. Like, I think difficulty 5 is basically designed for a almost max level character. And you would get access to the first 3 difficulties for each boss. And then once you beat 3, you get 4. And beating 4 gives you 5 for that boss. And it just allows you to refight any of the bosses in the game, which is very nice.
That's cool. Oh, that's like the kind of content I always wanted out of like a Souls game.
And they're hard.
Let me just fight the bosses.
Yeah, because in the final boss of the DLC, you're not allowed to use the NPC that's there. You have to 1v1 him. And I tried for an hour on difficulty 3 of 5, and I could barely get to phase 2.
Dang. All right, so you've 180'd entirely, and you think this is just the cat's tits. I don't know what a phrase is. What is it? Cat's pajamas. That's what.
Cat's tits.
It's been a long day. Leave me alone. Yes. 10 out of 10.
It's I mean, the nice thing that they had is with the DLC they added easier difficulties, so even people who aren't like, because the original Lies of P, I would say don't play it unless you're a veteran of Souls games, because holy shit, it's so hard.
No, I never even got far enough for it to be hard.
Yeah, no, like I think like, to give you an idea of how the final boss of this is probably harder than Promised Consort Radahn. I don't remember if you got how you guys felt about Radahn in Elden Ring's DLC.
Oh my gosh, I liked the fight, but I just couldn't see anything, and my computer hated it when he fought.
I thought it was fine. It definitely took a while, but it was fine.
Yeah, it's definitely beatable.
I mean, the other thing is that what do we even ever beat him when we were trying to come up for you?
For me, I don't know.
Like, I think that session where we decided to try to see if we could do it, the 3 of us. We never ended up doing it in that session.
I don't think so.
No, I beat him with the mimic tier after a while.
Yeah,
the stuff with he's when I finally was like, fine, I'll use the mimic tier, and then it took me like, I don't know, 10, 20 tries, and then I did it.
Yeah, but yeah, no. The final boss is probably harder than him. It has even longer chains than like Melania does. Because I think at the start of phase 2 and I don't know if it's a low HP threshold or just after a long time he'll do it again. But he basically has an 18 hit combo that he does that's similar to Waterfall Dance. But because of the parry system and the way it's spaced out, it's very readable. It's just hard. Because that entire fight has a lot of really long combos. And the other thing is that if you try to heal in the middle of his combos, he will extend it by another 8 hits or so. He punishes you if he's not actively either like late in recovery, or he staggers a lot from getting parried. Like the destructive damage that you build up, which is just the sentiment of like it's stagger basically. But he has a lot of moments where he'll stagger for a moment, which is your chance to heal. Otherwise, he'll immediately cancel what he's doing and rip into you. So it's a very tense fight.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you really enjoyed your playthrough of it. You're all excited about it. I was like, man, it must have been really good to get you to turn around like that. So I'm glad that it was. I think that's pretty much all our time, though.
Yeah. The only other thing I'll say is that I hope, because their next game is teased at the end of Liza P, because it's going to most likely be Alice in Wonderland / Wizard of Oz. Because Dorothy you basically see Dorothy's red shoes at the end of the game.
Oh, do you guys like the stuff like that? Like, what did I play? There's one game, Alice. It was a famous game. I can't remember what
Alice
it was, but it was Alice in
Returns.
Wonderland.
Alice Madness Returns or whatever.
Yeah, it was okay, but I thought it.
You can
I think I beat it.
I mean, I don't think Pinocchio would have been like, they blend a lot of other fairy tales together, but like Liza P was very well done in terms of its world / story. So I think they could definitely do something interesting with it.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna stop you there because I have to edit all this. So, and that is absolutely our hour. I had one other thing, but it's not worth talking about. So, in that case, we'll call it there. Thank you so much for listening. We're going to keep you updated on Kylar's solo project he's got going on. I'm excited for that.
It's gonna be so bad.
No, I saw it. It looks wonderful.
No, it doesn't. Don't lie to me.
It does. No, I'll lie to you all I want. If you have any questions or comments, send us an email at giantenemycrabpod@gmail.com. Leave a like and a comment on the video, or go to Spotify, Apple, and leave us a rating, or follow us on Blue Sky, Twitter, whatever. That's all the stuff I have to say. One time I had an idea, because we were talking about puppets, about a movie starring, it was going to be Bruce Lee versus Jackie Chan, except they'd have to exhume Bruce Lee's corpse and put him on like puppets.
Why was this an idea?
Well, because they would play as each other, and then Jackie Chan would just have to lie in a box, and then they'd fight. Right? Anyway, that's our time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.